What if I told you the world's largest rainforest isn't just wild on the surface, but hiding entire worlds underneath it? Not just animals, but lost cities, ancient roads, and secrets that were never supposed to be found. For centuries, explorers walked through the Amazon thinking it was untouched, empty. But what if they were wrong? What if millions of people once lived here, built things we still can't fully explain, and then vanished without a trace? And here's the craziest part. We're only now starting to see what's been hiding under those trees this whole time. The illusion of an untouched jungle. What if the Amazon was never an empty jungle at all? What if, under all that green, there were roads, homes, farms, and whole communities hiding in plain sight? For a long time, explorers told a simple story. The forest was wild, untouched, and almost empty. But that story does not hold up anymore. Smithsonian Magazine reported that the idea of a pristine, untouched Amazon is a myth. And National Geographic has shown that the southern Amazon was likely home to a network of large villages and ceremonial centers long before Columbus arrived. So why did people miss it for so long? Because the Amazon is huge, and its thick canopy covers nearly everything below. National Geographic Education notes that the Amazon basin is the world's largest rainforest, spreading across a massive part of South America. And that size alone makes it one of the hardest places on Earth to read from the ground. From below, a forest this dense can hide roads, mounds, and even entire settlements like they were never there. And now, laser mapping is proving that hidden structures still sit under the canopy, with science reporting in 2023 that new mapping work suggests thousands more archaeological sites may still be waiting to be found. So the real question is not, what is out there? The real question is, how much history has been sitting under these trees the whole time? The first cracks in the story. The first real crack in the empty jungle story didn't come from the ground. It came from the sky. Pilots flying over cleared parts of the Amazon started noticing something that didn't make sense. Huge geometric shapes carved into the earth, perfect circles, sharp squares, and long, ruler-straight lines. These weren't rough or natural. They were precise, balanced, and repeated over and over again, like someone had carefully planned them. According to National Geographic and reports covered by the BBC, some of these geoglyphs are so large they stretch wider than several football fields placed side by side, too big to even recognize unless you're thousands of feet above them. And here's where it starts to feel wrong. People on the ground had seen clues for years. Raised land that didn't match the terrain, straight pathways cutting through dense forest like invisible roads, shapes that felt deliberate. But most scientists didn't take it seriously at first. The belief was already set. The Amazon was too harsh, the soil too weak, the environment too unforgiving for complex societies. So instead of asking, "What is this?" the response was often, "It can't be what you think." But the evidence didn't stop. More shapes appeared, larger ones, more precise ones, patterns that repeated across vast distances. And eventually, the question changed. Because if these shapes were planned, then someone had to design them. And if they were designed, then why build something so massive in a place where no one on the ground could ever fully see it? The discovery of lost cities. And then the story took a hard turn, because those strange shapes weren't just isolated marks in the dirt, they were connected. What researchers started finding next changed everything. These geoglyphs were linked to hidden settlements, road networks, and entire organized landscapes buried under the forest. According to National Geographic and BBC Earth, archaeologists uncovered evidence of planned villages arranged in patterns, connected by straight, raised roads that cut through the jungle for miles. Not winding paths, not random trails, but straight lines, like highways, built with intention. Some of these settlements weren't small either. Studies published in the journal Science revealed clusters of communities spread across large regions, suggesting coordinated planning and communication. This wasn't a few scattered tribes surviving in isolation. This was structure, systems, design. In some areas, researchers found circular villages with central plazas, defensive earthworks, and surrounding zones that looked like managed farmland. And when you zoom out, it starts to look less like random settlements and more like an organized network. Which leads to the part that really doesn't sit right: population estimates. Based on the scale of these structures, some scientists now believe that millions of people may have lived in parts of the Amazon before European contact. National Geographic reports that entire regions once supported dense populations, directly contradicting the old empty jungle idea. Think about that for a second. Millions of people building roads, shaping land, organizing communities, all hidden under trees we thought were untouched. The technology that changed everything. For centuries, the Amazon had the perfect cover. Tree canopy so thick that even a massive city could sit beneath it and look like nothing at all. Then LiDAR changed the game. From an aircraft, scientists fired millions of laser pulses into the forest and measured the returns, letting them build a hidden map of the ground below. And what they found in Bolivia was not a few random marks, it was a whole system. In Nature, researchers described two enormous settlement sites, one 147 hectares and the other 315 hectares, with pyramids, platforms, and straight causeways linking places over several kilometers. Smithsonian Magazine also reported 957 kilometers of canals and causeways tied to this world. That is not a campsite, that is a civilization. And the surprise did not stop there. In Ecuador, researchers reported more than 6,000 earthen platforms and a web of roads and plazas, again hidden under forest until LiDAR pulled the curtain back. Then came the comparison that made the whole story feel even bigger. Same thing for the Maya, revealing cities far larger and more connected than people once believed, with some sites spreading across miles of jungle. So the real shock is not just that the Amazon held lost cities, it is that the forest was never empty in the first place. It was covering a human world we are only now learning how to read. And if LiDAR can expose all this from above, what else is still waiting under the trees? The mystery of Terra Preta, man-made soil. What if the secret behind the Amazon was not hidden in the trees, but in the soil itself? Deep under parts of the rainforest, scientists found a dark, rich black earth called Terra Preta, soil so fertile it still grows strong crops hundreds of years later. That is strange, because natural Amazon soil is usually thin and weak, but Terra Preta is different. According to Smithsonian Magazine and academic research published in journals such as Science and Nature Communications, this soil was made by ancient people, not by nature alone. They mixed charcoal, food waste, bones, broken pottery, and other organic material into the ground, creating earth that could hold life far better than the land around it. Think about that for a second. These people were not just surviving in the forest, they were changing it on purpose. They understood how to build soil, how to keep it rich, and how to make it last. That means they knew far more about the land than outsiders once believed. For a long time, many experts thought the Amazon could not support large, complex societies because the soil was too poor. Terra Preta turns that idea upside down. It suggests people here were not only living in the rainforest, they were engineering it. And that is what makes this so unsettling. If ancient people could create soil this powerful, what else did they know about growing food, managing forests, and shaping entire landscapes? Because Terra Preta is not just dirt, it is proof that the Amazon once held a level of human knowledge that history nearly forgot. The sudden disappearance, and then they were gone. Not slowly fading, not leaving behind clear ruins or written records, just gone. A civilization capable of building roads, shaping forests, and engineering soil that still works today disappears so completely that for centuries, no one even knew it existed. So what happened? One of the strongest theories points to disease. When Europeans first arrived in South America, they brought illnesses like smallpox and measles, diseases the local populations had never faced before. According to research discussed in Smithsonian Magazine and studies published in Science, these epidemics may have spread ahead of direct contact, wiping out entire communities before explorers ever reached them. Imagine that. Villages collapsing silently, one after another, deep in the forest, with no one left to tell the story. Others point to disruption and collapse. As populations fell, systems that depended on coordination, farming, road maintenance, water management, may have broken down. And then the forest began to move back in. Without people to maintain the land, nature slowly covered everything. Paths disappeared, structures eroded, and within generations, the jungle erased the visible sides. But here's what makes this truly unsettling. There is no single moment of collapse we can point to, no clear ending, just fragments. Advanced societies, organized, skilled, and then reduced to silence so complete that history almost missed them entirely. And maybe the most disturbing part is this. The forest didn't destroy them all at once. It simply outlasted them, and then hid what remained. What might still be hidden? Even after all these discoveries, most of the Amazon is still a blank space. Not empty, just unseen. The rainforest stretches across millions of square kilometers, and large parts of it have never been carefully studied with modern tools. According to National Geographic and reporting from BBC Earth, only a small fraction of the Amazon has been scanned with LiDAR so far. That means everything we found, cities, roads, engineered land, might be just the beginning. Experts now believe there could be many more hidden settlements scattered across the basin, still buried under layers of trees and time. Not isolated villages, but entire networks we haven't mapped yet. Think about what that implies. Places where people once lived, worked, built, and planned, still sitting there, untouched for centuries, simply because we cannot see through the canopy. The Amazon does something almost no other place on Earth can do. It doesn't just cover history, it erases it, slowly, quietly, and completely from view. Paths vanish, walls sink, soil blends back into the forest floor, and above it all, the trees keep growing, forming a living roof that hides everything beneath. So the real question is no longer, did civilizations exist here? We already know they did. The question is, how much is still hidden, and how wrong our understanding might still be? Because if entire cities can disappear under this forest, then the Amazon is not just a place on Earth, it is a living cover, hiding a past we are only just beginning to uncover. The Amazon may look like pure nature, but what if it is really a mask? A living blanket pulled over roads, villages, canals, and whole cities that once bustled with people. We already know the forest has hidden massive settlements, straight causeways, and engineered landscapes in places like Bolivia and Ecuador, revealed only when LiDAR cut through the canopy from above. We also know ancient Amazon people shaped the land in ways that still change how the forest grows today, including rich man-made soil like Terra Preta. So if the jungle hid all of that for so long, what else is still waiting under there? More cities? More roads? More proof that the Amazon was never empty at all? Maybe the biggest secret is not one lost city. Maybe it is the idea that an entire chapter of human history was left out because the trees kept growing over it. And that means every shadow in the rainforest could be sitting on top of something we have not found yet. Because in the Amazon, the forest does not just protect life, it can also protect the past. And the question now is not whether there is more hidden beneath the trees, it is how much. If these incredible stories amazed you, please do subscribe to Brainy Bites to watch more mind-blowing discoveries, hidden truths, and the secrets the world hasn't revealed.